Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe F1 2019 Division 1 Round 18 Finals round of the season. It's the season finale here in Brazil at the Autodromo Interlagos, and we are here tonight. This track never provides a bad race at all, and I'm hoping for more of the same here tonight. If you're wondering who I am, you should know me by now, surely. JamesHead14, going to be commentating you through the action, as always, here for Division 1. And it is my final commentary of the season as well. And what better way to do it is to start the stream 10 minutes early and give you guys the best possible way to interact with me in the comment section and through Discord as well. So if you do have any comments, any queries, anything relating to any of the drivers that you are going to be supporting there out on track tonight, please put it in the comment section because I will read them out during the course of this evening's stream. And because we are so early starting the stream, I'm going to try and take my time and give you a bit of a debrief as to what's happened so far this season in Division 1. Of course, Montana already wrapped up the championship a number of races ago now, after his shocking race, I think it was in Japan, where he finished in 5th. Has been on a six race winning streak and is on 384 points coming into tonight. And I've got to say, what a revelation Montana has been this season. A dominant success. Please step up next season, by the way, if you do want to try and beat him, because seriously, he's a great driver and Division 1 needs more like him, I've got to say, within the comments. Still a battle for second going on the championship. We've got Waluigi in second. Bit of a disappointing result actually from the Belgian last time out at his home track. 137 points he's on. He's been very consistent throughout the season. Neil just a point behind in third, and with Neil only a point behind, we joined the season 8 races in, came in not round 9 of the championships, has literally only been here since halfway through the season. What could have been? I think Neil probably would have wrapped up second by now if he had started off his season with us earlier, like maybe even round 3, round 4, and I think he will be ahead and probably wrapping up that second if he joined a little bit earlier. Cantera, good to see him back here tonight. The Spaniard, he's on 100 points, sitting there in 5th position currently in the standings. Of course, 4th position taken up by Rafa, who is no longer with us within the league. Cantera, 2 DNSs to his name. He's back tonight though. I think we're going to expect some great expectations from him tonight. The Spaniard doing a really good job, I think, here tonight. 100 points. His success this season, he's been quite consistent in races. A couple of third places to his name in 3 out of his Grand Prix that he's participated in this season. Plenty of 4ths and plenty of 5ths to go along with that as well. And again, Cantera maybe just lacking in the attendance more than anything else. There are a few races that he has DNF'd. If he didn't DNF those races, I think we could see a very different outcome for Cantera. He'd be right up there within the championship picture as well. Daka not participating, has had a great season. The young lad from Scotland, 87 points he is on, of course. Juman Larkin battling it out for 7th and 8th currently in the standings. There are only 2 points separating these two. 79 points and 77 respectively. Larkin has been doing a great job since his DNSs and his disconnect. He has really shined, I think, and he's pretty much an underdog within Division 1. Couple of 4th places to his name, couple of 5ths in there, and a 6th place finish as well. 77 points for himself, has really came strong in the second half of the season. Again, for another case of first half of the season, if he was a bit stronger at the tracks, I have a feeling he would be, again, an underdog for a top 5 possible within the championship. 76 points for Spine, another one that has joined very late, doing very consistently in the last 5 races. Second last time out in Belgium, did really well in that race. Of course, it was a Swiss one too. And also a second place a couple of rounds ago as well. 2 third places to his name. 76 points for Spine. Looking down the rest of the standings, we've got YHYY, XJarry, Bullet Boy as well. If it wasn't for the final lap drama in Belgium last time out, where the track got very greasy indeed, I think Bullet Boy probably would be right up there, similar with XJerry and YHYY. Rick as well. Hasn't been picking up totally the greatest amount of points this season. 56 to his name. I would surmise that his season has been a tale of two halves. He was quite strong in the first season, finishing 5th especially in one of the races. And then he's just sort of like tailed off towards the end of the season. Maybe it's because the addition of new drivers within the season has showed him up possibly a little bit, and maybe he just needs to work on his pace a little bit more coming into next season, which of course will start in January for those of you who are interested in signing up. Looking down the rest, Verstappen has been very consistent since joining Division 1, 48 points to his name as well. And looking down the rest, quite a few inconsistencies to be honest, but I think all in all it's been a fantastic season, and I've got to say, hats off to everyone that has participated. I think I read a stat earlier on the League of Europe division, on the League of Europe Twitter, and I think it was something like 101 drivers across 3 divisions. Absolutely fantastic stuff, and full credit must go to the organisers. Don't thank me, because I thank you for tuning in instead. Yes, that's how it works around here. I'm the commentator, you guys are the viewers, and of course I do want to interact with you guys as much as possible. We have got Division 3 on. I'm guaranteeing that some of the viewers might start coming over to the leading division here in League of Europe, and I honestly think going forward, League of Europe is going to be such a strong league. I think could be showing himself as probably one of the top 10 within the F1 2019 community, certainly on PS4. Whether we expand in 2020 remains to be seen. There's no rumours or anything going around about that at the minute, but that might be nice. That might be very nice indeed. Looking at everyone within the chat, I seem to have bored you quite a lot with my rundown of everyone pretty much within the point standings. But yeah, Montana's already wrapped up the championship and the rest will follow suit. Bullet Boy saying, sorry I can't be here. Did you see what I did to my TV? No, I didn't see. I've been away the last couple of days, so interviews tonight, possibly. I think I have got something planned, however, after this, so that might be cut short. But if it is okay with everyone, and if it's okay within the Discord, certainly, I will try and hold something next week. A possible end of season Division 1 podcast. How about that? Get some famous faces of Division 1 in there as well. So there you go. That's a promise. There'll be no interviews, but I'll do an end of season podcast. Why not? Used to do them back in the day. Can't be that simple, surely. Can't be that easy. It's got to be that easy, surely. Anyways, looking through the comments, I know I'm boring you guys a little bit. I am pumped up for tonight, and we have got 10 seconds until the on-track action starts here in Brazil. Do put in the comment section your top 3 predictions in qualifying, and don't bore us within the comment section either by just putting Montana, because you can't have your own way like that. How popular he is, but trust me, he can't get first, second and third in this tonight. It's a shame. It's a shame. Unless he's being cloned. Maybe. Who knows? Larkin as well coming in saying Vamos. Again, Larkin being very consistent, especially in the second half of the season. It's really came about himself and has really grown into one of those underdog drivers that you do want to have on your side for next season. Hopefully we do have him back next season. Of course, I'll be commentating next season in Division 1. Can't wait to get started once again. Doing my homework until then, until the new season starts as well. But we are going to get going very shortly indeed for Brazil. 15 drivers about to do battle here at the Autodromo de Interlagos, and what a track for the season finale, as we now have the on-track action coming up very shortly indeed. There we go, right on cue. We are now into 18 minutes worth of qualifying. It has corrected itself. I thought we were only going to have a 3-lap race for a minute there. Goodness me, that seems to be the new glitch that Codemasters has seems to added into since patch 1.18. Goodness me. I need to fix that game more than anything else, to be honest, but there you go. but 20 seconds into qualifying, no on-track action at the moment. But quite a few nice drivers to have. No new faces here for the last race of the season. Everyone that you have seen or will be seen on your stream have raced this season. And of course we do have our championship leader coming out first in the onto track, I should say, in Brazil. So the Williams of NSX Montana now comes onto the track and will set about warming up his tyres and getting heat into them, and that is not a nice feeling to have. Is that a rev glitch I've got there? Or is that just Montana? That is just Montana, thank goodness for that. I thought I had the revving out glitch, but there you go. Verstappen also out on the outlap so far. We're going to have action, of course, everyone now filtering out the pits, as you can see on your screen. My top 3 for qualifying, I don't really make these predictions. I have a feeling Montana won't get this. I'm going to bank on Neil getting pole position. The German has been very consistent in the last few races, so I'm going to go Neil for first in qualifying, Montana for second, and Spine for third. And watch out for the 2 Spaniards as well. They are back here tonight, Cantera and Doom. We have missed them the last couple of weeks. It has been a bit lonely without them on track, but they are back here to score hopefully good points for the Renault team in their quest for a battle. Killer Blue has picked up a 5-place grid penalty, but Montana in the meantime starts his lap, and let's run on board with him through the lap here in Interlagos through turns 1 and 2 at the centre S's. It's the FX very nicely on the inside now through turn 3, the left-hander. Now down the straight, DRS open, reaching in excess of 200 miles an hour down the straight, brakes just before the 50-metre board, misses the FX slightly, but a very nice exit through the first sector, and now running up the hill through turn 6, now into 7, 8 and 9, the triple right-hander at the top of the hill, through 7, and then through turn 8 at the right, and then through turn 9, which is the highest point on the track here in Interlagos, around 200 metres in sea level difference, which to you and me sounds about 120 feet. Montana now halfway through the middle sector towards the highest point of the track, and now running downhill towards the end of the middle sector. This is the final technical corner out on track, 51.4 for Montana through that middle sector. Goodness me if I can get my words out. Montana on a lap though, taking a very deep line coming through this final corner, and now on the straight can floor it down to the line, and it's going to be a 107 to begin off with. Montana across the line, a 107.8. That is not a bad lap at all to begin off with. Montana sets a lap. Verstappen just coming across the line and behind him goes second with a 108.6. Schiaparelli is off the track, don't know what happened to him there. We'll go on board though with Doom, who is on a lap, 51.7 through the middle sector. Very nice lap there by Doom through the middle sector, that is. There is Schiaparelli, he's doing the Kimi Räikkönen, I feel. Schiaparelli trying to be the Kimi Räikkönen of Brazil here tonight in Division 1, it seems. Doom coming across the line in the meantime will go second with a 108.1. Cantera, I do believe, is just behind him on a lap as well, and he comes across the line and invalidates a 111.6, but he has prepared for that lap. While Luigi across the line goes third. The Belgian was a little bit poor last week, I've got to be honest. The Belgian at his home track. Got to fight for the battle for second though, with Neil only a point behind him. It is going to be very close between himself and the German, and I have a feeling Neil might just outscore him for that second position. It will come down, of course, to who scores the most points out on track. We have got a few across the line. Game Boys came across the line to go 5th. Verstappen now down to 6th as a result. Kooky Games came across the line for 9th as well. I tried and board them with Larkin, who was through the middle sector. 52 flat through the middle sector, not too shabby at all. Montana currently leading the way by 0.3 of a second out on track. And Doom in second and Luigi in third as we approach the 5-minute marker in qualifying. Larkin now the Brits coming across the line very shortly indeed. Across the line will go 4th with a 108.4. Just slaps himself in there behind Luigi and ahead of Rick as well. Not a bad lap there by Larkin, and that was done on 2-lap pressure tyres as well. Cantera just coming across the line, goes 2,000ths off Montana. Very nice lap there by the Spaniard. Outscores and outwits currently his teammate, which could be quite interesting to see. But the 2 Spaniards on fire, Cantera and Doom second and third at this stage, and we are 5 minutes through qualifying. Going up into 10th place there, I do believe was X-Jarry coming across the line. No, it wasn't. It was Kooky Games improving. 109 flat from Kooky Games. YHYY across the line in the meantime in the Toro Rosso. It's at a 108.5. Very nice lap there from him. course, do get in touch within the comment section to see who you guys are going to be supporting here tonight. Of course, we've already had a moment where Schiaparelli decided to channel his inner Kimi Raikkonen and go off at the final corner through turn 12. Goodness me. Doesn't want to be doing that again, I don't think, here tonight. VRT Schiaparelli. Of course, you might have missed me in GT Sport last week. I will be back this week, of course, for GT Sport and until the end of the season as well. Hopefully I will be, anyways. I'm sure I will be. But Schiaparelli about to start on a lap. We've got Spine on lap in the meantime, as well as Neo. And we'll go on board with Spine then, who is coming through turn 3. I have forgot to get my track map up, so I'm just going to assure myself with the track. The Autodromo Juan Carlos Pache is, of course, the Brazilian track here. Here's the Brazilian track. It was the Autodromo de Interlagos, of course. But the Autodromo Juan Carlos Pache. Goodness me, if I can get my words out tonight, that would be fantastic. 15 turns out on track, 2 DRS zones, 1 down the start-finish straight and 1 down the back straight leading towards turn 4. And I'll just get that up now, there we go. Spine on the lap, 51.3 through the middle sector. Goodness me, he's flying through the middle sector, the Swissman. Now coming up towards the line, uphill through turn 14 and then into 15 at the kink. Now coming across the line, what's it going to be? He's going to go quicker than Montana, is he? 107.8, great lap there by Spine, fantastic stuff. Neil on a lap in behind, goes quickest as well. So Neil, my prediction for pole position, goes into first position with 7 minutes gone in qualifying. Neil and Spine take it to Montana here tonight in Brazil. So Neil on top, 107.7, Spine with a 107.805. And Montana, who is on a lap currently, will run on board with him then. As the cloud cover just begins to build here out on track, we might have a forecast of rain possibly in qualifying. I will check the comments and see if anybody has put that. 600s up for Montana in the middle sector. Not good enough to beat Neo at this stage. Now through 14 and 15. Now to the run to the line. Montana taking the deeper line, as deep as line as possible across the line, and he goes quickest by 200th of a second. Found a bit of time there in the final sector, a full 10th up on what he was. Montana goes into provisional pole with 10 minutes to go in qualifying. Neil was second currently, and Spine now in third position. Cantera on that lap. Joom is on a lap though in the meantime. The Spaniard, and it looks like, is that Schiaparelli just in behind him as well in the Red Bull. A 10th down for Joom through the middle sector. That is not Schiaparelli, that is Cookie Games on an outlap. I do apologise. But Joom on a lap, he's only a 10th down through the final corner. He comes now through 15 on the run to the line. Is he going to improve? No, he's not. He's 8 tenths off, and he actually backed off that lap as well. Might need to get out of the way for Cookie Games, who is on a lap in behind him. I'm not sure if Joom is going to go for another lap here. We'll see. Larkin in the meantime is on board, is on a lap, so I'm going board with him in the Racing Point. Oh! And I did say it was forecast rain. It's just started to rain out on track. It's just starting to rain. You can see it coming down in front of the visor. So these guys really want to get out there and set a very quick lap to begin off with, and then possibly have the rest of the qualifying session on intermediate conditions. But it has started raining out on track. Larkin through the final corner now on the run to the line, already reaching 200 mile an hour across the line, comes across and jumps into 6th ahead of Waluigi. Good lap by Larkin, 108.2 with Waluigi with a 108.3, and Verstappen comes in just in behind with a 108 flat. We just missed the end of the lap there from him. Cantera on a lap, he's down by 1.6 seconds. Schiaparelli just beginning one there out on track. Cookie Games though in the meantime is on a lap. The Red Bull driver halfway through qualifying. Montana, Neo and Spine are current top 3. Cookie Games not improving on this one, 1.4 seconds off in the meantime. And now Game Boys is now challenging inner Kimi Raikkonen and going off track. Goodness me, we're seeing quite a few guys do that on track tonight. We don't want to see another one. I've got to be honest. We don't want to see another one challenge there. Inner Kimi Raikkonen. I know it's the final race of the final race of the season, guys. Well, come on, you know better than that. YHYY has improved though in the meantime, 108.4 for him. There is a Williams coming out of the pit lane, and that is Montana, and YHYY has invalidated on his lap. Killer Blue retires. We're going to get quite a few retirements now, I think, As try and flick on board with somebody who is on a lap. Cantera is on a lap. Is Schiaparelli ahead of him out on track? He is. So Schiaparelli now through 14 and 15. The German better come across the line now. Well, we're 0.4. A little way off to where I was expecting him to. Kuka Games on a lap as well. Schiaparelli retires from the session. Kuka Games on a lap coming across the line. Will improve. 108.9. Doesn't improve his position though. Kuka Games, I think, will be quite happy with that. Cantera has came straight into the pits. The rain getting a bit heavier out on track. The track going to be working at much colder temperatures. Some of these guys may decide to go out on a set of medium compound of tyres, or a set of hard compound of tyres, as you saw with X-Jarry. We've already had 4 retirements from the session. Schiaparelli, Kuka Games, X-Jarry, and Killer Blue, who is not setting a lap time here tonight. Killer Blue for Williams, who have already wrapped up the Constructors' Championships. They're on 500 odd points. IHYY retiring. We're not going to really see, I don't think, much action now out on track. So it gives me a bit of an opportunity to have a look at the comment section, see what you guys have been saying here tonight in Division 1. Montana, Neil, Spine, your current top 3. Where did the rain come from? I literally said about 20 seconds before, it was getting a lot cloudy and there might be a possibility of rain, but I didn't expect it to start raining. Goodness me, call me a commentator's curse tonight, honestly. 6 minutes to go. Montana's still out on top. Spine in Neo in second, Spine in third. Cantera very close between that top 4. Montana is 9/10 down. There's that. The track definitely becoming a lot greasier now out on track. Neil down on his lap time. Spine down on his lap as well, while Ouija is into the pits. Have a feeling this is probably going to be the last you'll see of many of the drivers here out on track tonight. Everyone might just remain in the pit lane now. Said the rain will come after 20 minutes. How wrong was Jeff in the of the radials to the drivers here out on track? Well, very wrong. Neo on a lap, 1.2 seconds off in sector 1, so he's not on a lap at all here. But as we've got a bit of a break, I'm going to have a look in the comment section and through Discord, see what you guys have been saying. Glad you didn't just catch me breaking Neil's wing trying to give him slipstream. I honestly don't have a problem with that now. You can give slipstream as much as you want. It can give you a hell of a look in, I think, and good advantage going forward within the sessions. I'm starting to become a bit more of a fan, to be honest, of it. So, yeah, it might take me a bit of a while, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Spot the whole qualifying could have been so interesting. Yeah, totally agree on that. I think definitely it would have been a lot more interesting. Of course, we have got the additional, the addition of rain now out on track, and everyone's staying within the pit lane. Expected to. It's definitely getting a lot heavier out on track, I've got to be honest. I'm seeing the raindrops now falling down on people's heads within the pit lane, and you guys are seeing this obviously on your stream as well. And it's definitely becoming a little bit heavier out on track, so the rain is going to just start mopping up. And I know in the past we've had that legendary 2008 race, of course, where Hamilton won the championship from Felipe Massa, overtaking Glock very late on. That race was quite changeable. Are we going to see changeable conditions, I wonder, for tonight's race in Division 1? Remains to be seen. If somebody can give me a weather update, that would be fantastic. But just to talk through the top 4, Montana, Neil, Spine and Cantera all condensed within about a 1/10 of a second there. The Swissman obviously has done enough to take pole position. We are going to be starting this race a little bit earlier, it seems, as well. We're only waiting for Spine and Game Boys to retire from the session. But very closely compact field here. Top 12 separated by around a 1/10 of a second. We're only waiting now on Game Boys to retire from the session. And we're going to be finished possibly on time with Division 3 for the first time in, well, League of Europe history, I think, at this rate. And just to give you an update actually on Division 3, I'll tune into the stream now just to see what is happening out on track. It is intermediate conditions there in Division 3 actually. And already a few out of the race. So Ibo out of the race, Cloudy Cloud out of the race as well. But Nico leading the way. Breadbank now in second, has just overtaken Algrin Mike for that second position. The Ferrari and the Red Bull going side by side pretty much down the straight, and they are on lap 13 out of 36. But why tune out for that when you can have the beautiful tones of a northeast accent, a northeast England accent in me commentating you through the action here tonight. My dulcet tones may scare you, to be honest. It may scare you. You might just have to cope with it. You never know. But 2 minutes to go within qualifying. Are we going to get Game Boys and Wonder out on track? I think he's probably nowhere near his console at this stage, I would imagine. And obviously the real life season has ended in Formula 1 as well, and I think to put a spin on things, really, we've had such a good season here in Division 1 this season, and across all 3 divisions as well. I've been tuning in when I can to have a look at some of the racing. It is getting heavier again out on track, the rain. But yeah, everyone has done a great job out on track, and full credit must go, as I say, to the organisers, to everyone that is involved behind the scenes. I mean, I was literally approached out of the blue, really, by Mark, who many of you guys will know within League of Europe. I was headhunted, essentially, no pun intended there either, by him to commentate you through Division 1, and look where we are now. 18 races later and you're still stuck with me. And you're going to be stuck with me even more for another season, which is fantastic. Cannot wait to it, and hopefully we will have a lot more great action out on track. I offer a bit of a pact, essentially, to the guys that have retired from the session. If you are tuning in for the first time in a few weeks, and if you have thought it through, do come back to League of Europe. I've honestly never been part of a league that is actually so well organised. It really deserves a lot more credit, so do come back and join us. If you're one of those drivers that is considering to retire at the end of the season, or has retired already this season and wants to come back next season, do come back, because with Division 1, I want to be, well, I don't want it to be the best division in League of Europe. I want it to be the best, and the flag bearer, and the real outside, where you can, if an outsider does come into League of Europe and is watching for the first time, or if you're interested in Formula 1 and you're just watching it for the first time, then that is fantastic. Game Boys has now, qualifying has ended, so we can now run through the grid order. Second between Montana and Neil on that front row of the grid. So the Swissman takes it over the German, with Spine in third, Cantera in fourth, with Kvyat Verstappen in fifth. Another good qualifying session from him. Great to see how he gets on in the race. Doom in sixth, Larkin in seventh, while Luigi, in terms of the battle for second, Neil starting second, while Luigi starting eighth. Neil already has track advantage. Chapelletti ninth, YHYY 10th. They start on the set of softs. Rick, Game Boys, Cookie Games, X-Jarry and Killer Blue are your final 15 drivers that you are going to be seeing out on track here tonight. Killer Blue not setting a lap. I'm not sure if he had a qualifying ban. I don't think anyone was picked up on the Discord regarding any stewards investigations. But we are here. It is looking a bit overcast, I've got to be honest. Hopefully we are due for no rain in the race. And rain destroyed my plan to use quali as a practice. Yeah, I've got to be honest, if the race is going to be anything like qualifying was, I can see it turning wet within the first 15 laps of this race. Hopefully we don't get that. I want to see a nice, clean, fair, fun and competitive, and all the words in between race here tonight. Larkin coming in and saying, time to get my shoulders out and hold up, while Luigi, of course, both Neo and Larkin are teammates, and there's no problem in that at all, because we have had traffic problems with some of the front guys in races, especially Belgium last week, a prime example of traffic. People who haven't pitted getting in the way of things and just spicing the race up that little bit more. I want to see more of that, to be honest. It's fantastic to see. But we are here out on track. It is dry. Top 10 on a set of soft compound of tyres. They're the compound of tyres that they actually qualified on. Interesting decisions further down the field. We've got Rick and Kuki Games on the set of soft competitive tyre. Remember, they will be quicker in the first half of the race than the second half of the race, and the tyres will likely only go 5 or 6 laps before they begin just to degrade and just to wear off. And you should be seeing those guys putting in, I think, lap 10, lap 11 maybe, for a set of medium competitive tyres, which can get quite far, I do believe, and a one-stop strategy is quite likely. Medium competitive tyres for Game Boys and Killer Blue, you'll see them probably going around to the halfway stage of the race and possibly pitting in. You never know, some of them may be on a 2-stop, some of them may be on a 1-stop. And Xjarry on a set of hard competitive tyres as well, down in 14th position. Mercedes driver just filtering through there in your camera shot. Is it raining out on track? No, it's not, but I thought I saw some raindrops falling on the track. It is dry. It is dry, thank goodness for that. Top 3 prediction from me though. My final top 3 prediction, race prediction, which I nearly got right last week if it wasn't for those metalline incidents. I'm going to go Montana for the win. I don't think he can be stopped here tonight as a result of his qualifying. Second, let's go Cantera for second. Just think he might pick off Spine and Neo early on. And for third, let's throw Schiaparelli in there. The German. Schiaparelli for third. Why not? 36 laps about to begin here at the Autodromo Juan Carlos Pache. Kuki Games just joining up on the back of the grid. And we're about to get set for 5 red lights here for the season finale of Division 1 League of Europe. On very high pitch there. Long hold on the lights, but it's light down, away we go. And who's got the better start? Montana seems to have got the way on the line very nicely indeed. Neo up the inside, though, into turn 1. Diving it through, Montana on the inside line through the S section. They go all clean through turn 1, which is good to see. And Neo has snapped the lead early on. Neo has taken the lead from Montana. Now Spine in the background as well. As they come through the first sector for the first time, Montana trying to look around the outside here on Neo. There is Neo hooking up the inside. That's a terrible camera shot from me. Neo and Montana now side by side pretty much through the whole of the first sector. There's been a collision in the background. I think Game Boys and Killer Blue have been caught up in something further down the field. The yellow flag in sector 2 replicate that, but Neo has managed to get the better start than Montana. Now with him early on, and the German halfway through the middle sector leads the way on the first lap for Montana in second, Spine in third. The 2 Swissmen going great guns early. Cantera right on the back, nearly into the back of Spine there. June in fifth, Luigi in sixth. Just a bit of a break between the top 6 developing. Larkin in 7th, Schiaparelli already up into 8th place. Good start from him. Let's have a look at the position gains at the end of lap 1, and let's run on board with the battle for the lead, as Neo leads at the end of lap 1, is getting that position and is getting the lead early on. So Neo leads, Montana second, Spine third as they filter across the line for the first time. It is in that order, the top 3. Cantera, June, Waluigi, quite a few into the pit lane. Somebody has left, I think that might have been Killer Blue into the pit. Schiaparelli, YHYY, Verstappen and Game Boys all into the pit. Kuki Games and Xjarry go side by side through the S section, and Kuki Games pulls it off. Fantastic move there by the Red Bull driver on the back of Xjarry and pulls it off to absolute perfection. Kuki Games comes across to defend the line nicely indeed. The Slovenian into 9th position, but back on board with the battle for the lead. 3-way battle beginning to develop, it seems. Cantera just a little way off in 5 tenths behind. Jim and Waluigi just in behind this as well. But end of lap 1, let's dissect that down. Neo getting the jump on Montana, who we are on board with at the minute. And obviously the advantage is going to be with these guys behind. The DRS is going to be open very soon indeed onto lap 3. That will be open down the straight and down towards turn 4. Neil though leading the way by 5 tenths of a second. Montana is in second, Spine in third. No changes to the order on lap 2 apart from Kuki Games getting past Xjarry with a phenomenal move down the inside of turn 2. Neil set the new fastest lap of the race with a 1:11.2. Down through the S section they come. Neil leads the way, 4 tenths of a second. They're trying to ball with Montana though. Let's see what's going through his mind at the minute. He is trying to close in now on Neo. The straight not long enough for a possible move down the inside. He has a look, but it's not going to be committed at all. Waluigi on the back of Doom as well. Further down the field, we have got a battle for 12 between YHYY and Verstappen. Of course, DRS will be open next lap. I don't think Verstappen is going to wait that long though. On the set of medium compound tyres, down the inside on the fin, and Verstappen just forces YHYY off a little bit of the camber of the corner, but good position in the car there by Verstappen. He's got the move done. Similar to what we saw with Kuka Games around the outside of Xjarry. He gets the position, he's up to P12 and into that final point scoring position. Because of course, points pay for the top 12 places here out on track. And just to confirm, Killer Blue did leave the session, which was a desync or a disconnect after the lap 1 incident. Of course, that will be investigated afterwards. Neil leads the way onto lap 4 we go. Montana closing in down the straight. Is he going to try and lunge it for the move down the inside? Yes, he is. Oh, has a bit of a half look in there. Neo and Montana find it out. Through turn 3 they come, through the S section, and Montana all over the back of Neil, trying to break the slipstream in front. Neil, though, is going to have to defend from Montana. This time he's down on the inside. He doesn't cover the inside, and Montana waltzes through up the inside, and the Swiss man pays it off. A basic rookie mistake there by Neo. But mistakes can add up around here. Montana has taken the lead. A brilliant, brilliant scenario reading there from the Swiss man. And that is why he is the champion of Division 1 this season. Fantastic stuff by Montana. And he's taking the lead of the race. Neil now has got to defend off Spine, who's just dropped off slightly. 5.5 tenths in behind. Cantera just in behind him in 4th, Doom in 5th, while Luigi in 6th. Of course, remember that battle for 2nd in the championship. Neil currently outscoring Waluigi by what I make of it as 19 points for Neil and 8 points for Waluigi, so that'll be 11 points in favour of Neil. So keep an eye on that throughout this race, because that's going to be quite interesting. On to lap 5 we go. We are flying through this race early on. And Montana leads the way. June, new fastest lap for the race, so takes that extra point away from Neil, which is why I said 19 points and not 18. Neil deciding to go on the outside line there, similar to what we saw with Verstappen in the wet. Remember that? Verstappen going around the outside for, I think it was 2nd place in Brazil a couple of years back. But up the hill they come. Montana leading the way, Neil in 2nd, Spine 3rd, Cantera 4th, and on settling down, everyone doing a good job so far. Kuki Games is having a good race so far. He's on the back of Rick for 8th position, and the Dutchman now under pressure from the Slovenian. The Finn under pressure from the Slovenian. I've got to say, Kuki Games on a set of softs is all over the back of Rick all of a sudden, and the Slovenian driver seems to have had a great race so far. He's up 4 positions from 13th up to 9th, doing a good job. He's disposed of Xjarry as if he wasn't there, and he's doing a good job so far. Much better side to Kuki Games. Of course, I have been a little bit of a critic by him in the last couple of races for a bit of a move, and Chapelelli is out. Where has Chapelelli lost that? Where on earth is that? That is up the hill, I think, into turn 7? Let's have a look. Let's run on board with Killer Blue. See if we can pinpoint where he has gone off. It's somewhere up here. Yellow flags. His car's not there. Oh, there he is. Right hand side. He's lost it coming out of turn 7. Of all places, he's lost it coming out of there. Chapelelli. Oh dear. My prediction going down the Swanee already. Cantera and Doom have swapped positions in the meantime. So Cantera up to 4th and Doom up to 5th. And what on earth has happened to Doom here? He's now all of the back. Luigi all of the back of him. Almost as if he's let the teammate through. He's gone out onto the marbles and then he has got off the camber of the corner. So Doom has lost a significant amount of time, possibly to hold up Waluigi and favour Neo in this early stage of the race. Kuki Games, by the way, did get past Rick on that battle. Montana weaving nearly into the pit lane. Of course, drivers have got to be careful on the pit entry. We're on to lap 7 out of 36, and we're nearly 1/4 the way through this race. Montana leads Neo in 2nd. We're just going to jump on board with battle for 8th. So come down into turn 1. Rick trying to dive it up the inside of Kuki Games, who did give him space there, possibly a bit of a wild one there. Finn not getting up the inside of Kuki Games too easily. Montana still leads the way. He's right on board with Spine coming up the hill through turns 6 and 7, now into 8 and 9. He actually lost it out of turn 8, sorry, Chapelelli. Do apologise, he did lose it out of turn 7 or turn 8, one of the two. Needs my track map up, I think, there again. But Montana currently leads. Got the move done on Neil with a fantastic move down the inside into turn 4, pulled it off That's why he is the champion, of course. Neil in behind, giving him a very good, fair, hard race early. And this is what... Oh, Montana just getting a little bit sideways there. Coming out of turn 13, now through 14 and 15. And again, the weave will start to occur. Montana keeps it straight this time. Neil now might have a bit of a look in down to turn 1. The closing speed is there, but it's not going to be close enough. Down into turn 1, Doom has set the new fastest lap of the race. From being out on the marbles, letting Cantera through, he set the fastest lap of the race with 1:10.2, I think that was. Let's just check that. 1:10.7, sorry, for Doom. Right on the back there was Spine, on the back of Neo for second position. Montana currently leading the way by 5/10 of a second. Of course, if any battles develop further down the field, like in the bottom half of the grid, then of course we will go to that action as well. But Montana's, they're halfway through lap 8, leads the way, and that gap beginning to increase slightly. Neil might have went a little bit too early with his good start, and maybe just beginning to pay for it a little bit. 7.5 tenths now the gap. It has widened out by around 2, 3, maybe 4 tenths per second during the course of this lap, and Montana seems to have every answer currently. We're right on board though with Cantera, who I think is imminently going to be on the back of Spine and possibly overtake him for P3. Cantera, who I did say might have a good race here tonight, is doing just that. The sun has came out, by the way, here in Brazil. We're on to lap 9. We are 25% of the way through. Montana's just at the new fastest lap of the race, the 1:10.5. Schiaparelli leads the session. We thank him, of course, for participating tonight and indeed this season, and has done a good job as a result. I'm sure he will be back to right his wrongs next season as well. Gonna freshen myself up there with a bit of a drink, but everyone holding on to the top 6 positions. And it's just pretty much line astern at the minute between the 6, Montana, Neil, Spine, Cantera, Doom, and Waluigi, who is still sticking in there. He's just lost a little bit of time as a result of that fastest lap from Doom 2 laps ago. Belgian doing a good job, but needs to improve his position, I think, if he wants to try and find Neil. Of course, the undercut can be quite a thing round here, to be honest. The undercut can work, and can work by a couple of seconds in some cases. But Waluigi on the back of Doom will try and pressurise. Oh, and Spine has had a moment coming out of turn 13. Spine has had a wild one out of turn 13. That is Doom going past him now. And Spine has obviously got caught on the curb, I think, and has half spun onto the grass. That's what I can imagine has happened there. And Doom now says, thank you very much, free position for me. And Cantera now up the third as well. Just as when it was getting a little bit heated between Cantera and Spine, position in the battle just fades off all of a sudden. Oh, Waluigi right onto the back of Spine, coming down into turn 4, now through 5, and then into 6, 7 and 8. We're up the hill, Spine on the back of, Doom, Waluigi on the back of him in the meantime. We're right on board with this battle for 5th. Got Spine making that mistake. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if he does decide to pit in very soon indeed. I said around 10, 11 laps for these set of softs before they decide to come into the pits. That might be totally inaccurate. You know, I'm not a driver, I'm a commentator at heart. Montana currently leading the way by 6/10 of a second. We'll see though if any drivers do decide to pit in. Kuki Gaming has pulled away from Rick as well. Just an update on that battle. It's 1.1 seconds separating those guys. Anybody into the pits? No. Nobody into the pits out of the top 6. Neil though, right on the back of Montana, down into turn 1. Cantera beginning to hunt down as well. Not many penalties so far. Oh, just as soon as I've said that, Doom has got a 3-second time penalty. So that is a commentator's curse right there. I'm sorry, Doom, if you're watching this back. Montana 3/10 ahead of Neo at this stage, and the battle for 4th beginning to heat up a little bit. Of course, that is the car of Killer Blue, the Ghoster car of Killer Blue, who did disconnect from the session. The Spine and Jim just going through them nicely, while we should be the next one to get the Ghost car and get it out of the way. There we go, he's passed him already. But lap 11, we'll run on board with Neil. There's a beautiful helicopter cam. The Racing Point chasing down the Williams here. And Neil, of course, since joining halfway through the season, has been a real influence and been a real finder really out on track. He's been very consistent, He has done a great job, I've got to say, in most of his races. Spine right in the back of Doom, though, will just cut off that a little bit. And Spine has gone through Doom. No response there from Doom. Spine is into 4th position. Larkin into the pits. He was about 3 seconds off Waluigi when coming into the pits. Set of mediums for Larkin. So he's into the pits. They can last till the end of the race. 24 laps. I've seen 30 laps get done here before, and that was a totally wild strategy from the guy who did that. I think it was in one of the old leagues I used to commentate on. Let's be going about that though. Montana 5 tenths ahead of Neo. Cantera in 3rd. Let's check the comments, see what you guys have been saying. If there's any support out there for any of the drivers here, of course, do bring it into the comment section. Do show them some love out on track, because I'm showing love to you guys by checking the comment section as well. No comments coming through. I'll check Discord briefly as well. Of course, there have been a few issues actually on Discord tonight as I'm commentating. API issues apparently belittling the app currently. Neo, Spine is into the pits though, so Spine in. Let's watch his pit stop. Neo right on the back, 3 tenths behind Montana. The Spine into the pits. Medium compound tyres, again 23 laps here for the driver, for him to do. Spine now out of the pits and is on to a set of medium compound tyres. Is he going to get out ahead of Larkin, I wonder? Yes, he will, quite easily as well. There's Xjavi just going through, so Spine back out in front of Larkin. And that is probably going to be about 5 seconds, I'll make that out there. So to come on the exit of the pits, that'll probably be about 5 seconds. Not too far off, 4.4 seconds between those guys. But we're right on board with the battle for the lead, because Neo has got a little bit closer this time around. 4 tenths per second as they come down the hill into turn 13 once again. Montana currently leading the way. I think that is turn 12, sorry, that's turn 13. That's turn 12 that the braking zone is at. Neil though right from the back, and it looks like he was edging towards the pit lane here. Yeah, top 2 are in. So Montana in, Neo in, and Cantera in. Juma's got to go on for another lap. Might just give him a bit of a disadvantage now. Waluigi as well going round on another lap. So Montana into the pits. Set of mediums right down the end of the pit box, of course, in the Williams. There is Cantera, and there is Neo. Very close between these 3 coming out of the pits. Rick is going to be out ahead of these. Xjavi is going to be involved in this, I think. Are we going to get Belgium all over again, I wonder? I think they're just going to be fine. Montana is going to be fine. Neo, there is Cantera, and there is Xjavi who goes off track slightly. And the 3 of them are luckily just ahead, but it's Spine that is going to be the interference. No, he's not, because Xjavi has just got out of the way very nicely there. I would say good sportsmanship, but of course you have to fight for your positions within the race and possibly give Spine something to think about. But currently Doom leads the way, 5 tenths of a second from Waluigi. Rick in 3rd. These guys of course still yet to pit. You'll see Doom and Waluigi certainly coming into the pits this lap. Rick might go on for another lap, who knows? We'll see Doom and Waluigi then into the pits. Oh no, Waluigi goes on for another lap. So Doom is in anyways. And picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. As everyone flies through camera shot. Here is the net battle for the lead. Montana has gained on Neo, 9 tenths of a second the gap. With Cantera currently in that net 3rd position. There is Doom coming out the pits, and there is Spine, and I think Doom is going to be out behind Spine here. There he is, just filtering through camera shot. He's going to be well behind. So Doom, is he going to be ahead of Xjavi? Let's find out. Yes, he will. Just Doom ahead of Xjavi, but has lost a lot of time. Kuka Games has retired out the race. Where has he lost that? Is it on the exit of turn 3, I wonder? Yes, exit of turn 2, so he's lost that completely. On the inside curb, I think. That probably would have been. Car just losing it, and Kuka Games out the race, but doing a good job until then, and has left the session. But he should be proud of his performance in that race for the 15 laps that he was in. Kuka Games got to be one of those guys that you could have a look in, possibly in a lower division, I would think, might be more his forte. But certainly going to be one of those drivers going forward which you'll probably rely on. Montana, 7/10 clear of Neil though, for this net battle for third. Waluigi's still going on a lap, as is Rick. Neil's that's the new fastest lap of the race, a 1:10.1. Of course, these lap times will begin to come down very much indeed. Killer Blue has just came through the point where Kuki Games lead. Of course, he is not in control of his car. I don't think he will be picking up any sort of points. But you can really see how this race has actually changed complexion. Neil right on the back of Montana at 7/10 of the gap, and 7/10 around here, don't get me wrong, 7/10 around here seems like an age. Honestly, it does seem like an age. It seems like you've got a 5-second lead around this track. Obviously, they've got to be wary. We are approaching the halfway stage. They've got to be wary now as we enter the second phase of the race. We enter the final 18 laps, especially. Now, these guys don't overdo it a little bit with their tyres. The mediums can work on a similar level to the softs near the end of the stint, but rather not at the beginning, while Waluigi, by the way, is into the pit. And Rick is also going to come in. No, he's not. Rick continuing on for another lap. So Montana will go past him down the inside. Ooh, Rick was fighting that, not giving that up too lightly. Montana might just have a word with him afterwards. Montana 2/10 ahead of Rick in second position, Neil in third, Cantera in fourth, Spine in fifth, Doom in sixth. Waluigi now in seventh has came out ahead of X-Jarry, so has lost a position there. Oh, it's because Rick's in second, but is still in that net sixth position as a result. X-Jarry now in seventh, well, no, in eighth, but Larkin in ninth. Verstappen in 10th had early contact. Of course, this race pretty much split in two. Rick defending off Neil, and Neil's trying to go all the way around the outside into turn 8. Now on the inside line, has got to make this stick down the inside, and he does. The German just sticks it up the inside. That is a good reading of the situation there by Neil. Doesn't want to be held up too much, and Cantera is let through as well by Rick. So Cantera on his way and doesn't ruin the battle for the lead, which is good to see. That's what we like to see. Nice, fair, clean racing by majority out on track. Rick finally relinquishes his fourth position and comes into the pit. Spine now given free air to try and chase down Cantera. But this battle for second now is Larkin, in fact, is going to get the move done on X-Jarry, and that is quite simply rocket boosting stuff there from Larkin. He's up to 7th place ahead of X-Jarry. Rick has came out of his pit box. Verstappen is into his pit box. YHYY is still continuing on a little bit there as well. So X-Jarry right on the back of Larkin, trying to lunge it down the inside, not quite. He's on a hard compound of tyres, and he's still the only one out on track that is to set a pit stop yet. He is the only one not to make a pit stop, that's what I should be saying there. We are halfway through. Montana leads, 1.5 seconds separating himself and Neil for that first and second positions. Cantera in third, trying to chase down Neil for the second position, 6/10 of a second. All of a sudden it has got a little bit cloudy out on track at parts of the track. That might just lead possibly to the expectation of rain. I hope not. I don't want to see a repeat of last week in Belgium, where we had all hell breaking loose across the last 2 laps. Cantera though right on the back of Neil, getting down into turn 1. Right there, but Cantera in the meantime, 3/10 off Neil. Through turn 3 they come, and the mediums against fourth mediums. Not what you can see on your screen, because Neil is on a set of mediums. Yellow wall tyre, remember, what you're seeing with Cantera. The banana car running the banana wheels. And Neil is running on your screen as a set of softs, and on my screen as a set of softs. That is a set of mediums. That tyre graphic is wrong. That one on the right hand side though is right, just to confirm that. Cantera though on the back, 4.5 tenths away from Neil. We'll keep on board with this battle for second. I've got to say, as a result of Rick holding up Neil a little bit, it has just split the field. Montana now leading 1.6 seconds, Neil in second, Cantera in third, Spine in fourth, Doom in fifth, Waluigi in 6th position. Larkin, X-Jarry, Rick, YHYY, again boys, Verstappen currently a point scorers. Killer Blue AI car definitely not going to be getting points unless somebody crashes out, and of course I don't think he will be given a point anyways as a result of DNF, because, or disconnect it will be. Cantera with 16 laps to go after this one. Is right on the back of Neil, right down into turn 4 once again, into the first sector there. Montana holding the lead at 1.6 seconds. Gap very much stabilised out in front. Neo in second with Cantera in third position. Xjavi still yet to make a pit stop out on track. Let's see the position gains actually as a result of the majority of the pit stops being made. There is the interval timings as well. And the position changes read as this. Xjavi gaining the most, 6 positions gained. 2 gained for Waluigi, Rick and Killer Blue respectively. Ignore Killer Blue though, because those have been gained as a result of retirees. Cantera has gained 1, Doom has gained 1 and Game Boys has gained 1 as well. Is Cantera possibly going for 2 position gains here? He is 4.5 tenths away running down the straight. Is he close enough to Neil? There is a lot of lag being picked up, I've got to be honest, on Cantera's end. So this is going to be quite something for Neil to just read and just expect, really, I think. Cantera on the back. Let's see, actually, if we can get on board with Spine's point of view. It's not close enough, I'm afraid, on that. Sadly, there's no camera that can reverse the car and look behind like there is on GT Sport. But Montana doing a good job out in front. 2.1 seconds. Gap is extended now to second position. Neo is in second. Not settling for second by any means. It just seems like Montana is controlling the race his own way and is essentially now pretty much going to be unbeatable, I think, in this race so far. I've got to say, though, fantastic racing though out on track by, again, a majority of the field. Cantera has just lost a bit of time there to Neil. I'm just going to tune in to see how Division 3 is getting on, and you guys tuning in to us do want to have a look at Division 3. I can say that the race has ended and the Welshman has won. Ivor Bryn Mike has taken it, Nico second, and Wackhurst has finished in third position with a Drillo fourth and Breadbank in fifth position. So that is your top 5 of Division 3. You may as well give me a pay rise, even though I'm not getting paid anything. Doing 2 streams at the same time here. Cantera right on the back of Neo again, not close enough for the move. The sun now beginning to shine down upon the season finale here of the Ostromahon 1. Carlos Pache, better known to you and me of course as Interlagos, and Montana currently holding affairs out in front. 2 seconds the gap. Neo in second, Cantera in third, Spine, Doom, Waluigi, Larkin, Xjavi, Rick, YHYY. Everyone's pretty much spread out like a washing line in behind, and this battle is really the only battle out on track, which is a bit of a shame for you guys. It's a bit of a shame for me because I can ramble on a bit, but it's just a shame for you guys that we haven't got many battles going on further down the field. I mean, the closest battle behind that is Spine and Cantera, and it's 1.5 seconds. It's not really something that is worthy. You can actually see him just in the background of shot there, going down into turn 1. There is Spine trying to hunt down Cantera, who again not close enough down into turn 1. And it's really the tortoise trying to catch the hare at the minute, really. Montana 2 and a bit seconds ahead of Neo. Cantera in third, opening up that video. Actually do get a very good rear wing shot there of the Renault. And Xjavi has finally relinquished that 8th position, is into the pits. He will be coming out around Verstappen sort of area, I would imagine. Where are the guys out on track actually? There's YHYY. Xjavi, in fact, might be coming out in 9th position. So Xjavi will be easily out in 9th position and may go for fast start the race and may begin to close in on Rick. That might be quite interesting to have a look into later on. Back on board with the battle for second though between Neo and Cantera. Good to see a few viewers now begin to tune in from Division 3. Welcome to my world. This is Division 1 and this is James Head 14 commentating you guys through as we are on to lap 24 of 36. Montana leads the way by Neo 2 seconds the gap. Cantera right on the back again. This is the battle we focused on for quite a few laps if you are just tuning in. Spine in 4th, trying to hunt them down. The gap pretty much stabilised in behind. Cantera, the Spaniard, trying to get Neo, but it just seems that the straights are not long enough here for any possibility of a move. Cantera not close enough again. And really, throughout this lap, the driver, Cantera in question here especially, is going to be running in that dirty air, and Neo in behind, in front of him, is certainly going to be expecting that. Cantera running in the dirty air in behind is just going to throw him off a bit of a set, and you can see actually what effect that is having in behind. Spine with a bit of clearer air, now beginning to try and close in on these two guys. 1.5 seconds the gap. Currently, Spine not making any inroads majorly to try and get these two ahead, but running in the dirty air, it's just going to all add up, I think. Cantera again right on the back of Neo. It's been around 0.5 of a second through the final two corners, through 14 and now through the kink of 15. And again, you can see it's not close enough. We're on to lap 25 out of 36. It's pretty much been like this for, well, since the pit stops, I would be honest. Since the pit stops and since Rick had a bit of a moment with his traffic, of course, like he normally likes to do here in Division 1. Cantera on the back. Is he going to try and lunge it down the inside? Not quite. He was a bit close. 0.2 of a second, but again, Cantera's just going to exploit a bit of a weakness now in Neo, just ahead of him. The German may be under a bit of pressure now, and you can see that gap between first and second is beginning to extend. 2.5 seconds the gap now between Montana and Neo. And definitely seems to me that Spine is beginning to get a little bit closer. Through the middle sector especially, you can really see that beginning to tell. There is a battle going on further down the field, which I'm very happy to report on. And it's the closest battle currently out on track. It's between the QVR boys, Game Boys and Verstappen. It should be job done, I think, for Verstappen. Down the inside now goes the McLaren driver. Not giving him any room here at all. Game Boys forced off track. But Verstappen gets the move done cleanly and fairly, and is up to 11th place and gains an extra point for his total towards the end of the season. Verstappen is up to 11th position. Cantera right on the back of Neo. Once again, not close enough down into turn 1. We'll see how close he is down into turn 4. It's not going to be close enough though, 0.5 of a second. Does any of the top guys have penalties? That is an interesting point. I will go through that now actually. Just while there's a bit of break in the action. We'll keep on board with this battle for second just in the background. Nobody, I don't think, has got penalties out of the top 3. Montana has got warning. So, my controller is spazzing out a little bit. I do apologise. Neo has got a warning. And Cantera has got 2 warnings. So no penalties for the top 3. Spine has got a penalty. Doom has got a penalty and a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits as well, which we caught on the stream as well. Well, Luigi's only got 1 warning. That was on lap 1 as thought. Is that a spinner? No, it's not. It's just the camera angle cutting away. Goodness me, I got excited over nothing. Larkin, 3 warnings. Rick has got nothing. Good job by Rick so far. X-Jarry has got 1 warning. Verstappen has got 1 warning. And Game Boys has got 3 warnings. YHYY has got 1 warning. Killer Blue not running in human form. His AI car still going around out on track with the expectation of possibly somebody crashing out behind him. Oh, in front of him, I should say. 27 out of 36. Montana leads. Neil second. Cantera in third. The gap between Cantera and Spine has just grown quite a lot. 1.8 seconds now the gap. About 5/10 gain as a result of that. And with the lack of penalties, really brings a bit of expectation here from some of these drivers out on track. And I've got to be honest, it's not the greatest thing to see a 6/10 battle, Neo and Cantera, because there's no real opportunistic ways that Cantera can actually try and get this position. He's just got to try and sit and wait for the right moment, the right time, to try and pick off Neo and try and exploit a weakness, as I said earlier on. Try and exploit a weakness, try and exploit a bit of a flaw in Neo. Try and pinpoint where exactly does he not meet the apex, where exactly does he just run onto the grass a little bit slightly. Those little things can add up here at Brazil, and Cantera is trying to exploit that now. He is much closer this time around, but I have a feeling he is not close enough again for the move down into turn 4. Again, we'll get on the back, but not quite close enough at all. We are on to lap 28 out of 36. There is the gap between, for the leaders, just for reference, Montana 2.7 seconds ahead, 0.3 between Neo and Cantera roughly currently. Spine about 2-second gap in behind. There was the interval time, it's just to confirm that as well. But in terms of position gains, Xjavi's getting the most and has done a great job out on track. Hard's to softs, I should say, out on track for him. And the Dutchman doing a good job. 6.7 seconds off break. I did say, as YHYY, sorry, it's just set the new fastest lap. I was just going to say, Xjavi was closing in on Rick. It was about 10 seconds when he came out the pits, and he is trying to close him in. We're still on board with this battle for second, as we are on to lap 29 out of 36. Division 1 going very quickly. Of course, do tune in to Division 2 afterwards as well. That will be starting up in the next 4 minutes or so. Don't go tuning out for that, please, because of course we do want to get to the end of Division 1, and I'm sure how you guys want to see the outcome of this Neo and Cantera battle. It's pretty much, as I say, been like this since the pit stops. Neo and Cantera 4/10 away. You can probably add it up across the whole course of this second, of this first stint, really, of the first pit stops that they made, and it's pretty much been stabilised. Anywhere between 4/10 and 8/10 I've had it at when I've been looking for sure. You guys can probably add it up as well towards that average figure. Between 4 and 7/10 I've made that out as. But Cantera now just dropping out to that 7/10 breach that I was just alluding to. 23.5 off his personal best through the middle sector. And now Neo just beginning to put the hammer down a little bit again. Maybe let's have a look at the ERS, and look at the ERS difference. Cantera's barely been breaking sweat in that department. 80% roughly going down into turn 1. Neo only on 17%, so the ERS is there to be had. Cantera is just preparing himself possibly for a late thrust in this race, and gotta be honest, you would favour Cantera at this stage. Neo 4/10 of a second in front of him. Spine trying to get into this as well. He's on a similar level of ERS towards Spine. Of course, if you are tuning into League of Europe and tuning into F1 certainly for the first time, of course we do welcome you. But just to give a pinpoint on the ERS, Cantera running 83% ERS. What we mean by ERS is the energy recovery system. This is where the drivers actually brake going into the corners, and it actually generates energy and a build up, and you can use that energy to be deployed in possible overtaking situations. And you can see actually a great example here, Cantera just knocking that up to ERS mode 5. That is an overtaking, that is hot lap mode, what we call in qualifying hot lap. Cantera right on the back, he's just down into ERS mode 2. He's not going to go for the move this time around, just edging a bit closer though, giving Neil something to think about, and the German is really going to have his work cut out over the next 6 laps or so. We are on to the final 6 laps. 31 out of 36. Montana leads 2.4 seconds. Neo in second, Cantera in third. Of course, as my promise I made earlier on, you most likely will be seeing an end of season podcast at some point next week. I will be featuring certainly in that. If we do that, I will be certainly featuring in that as part of Division 1. And I'll be giving a good review on everyone like I did at the start of the stream as well. In that, of course, we might get the guys from Division 2 and Division 3 in there as well, and have a full end of season podcast and possibly an end of season review and awards as well. I do believe there's an award ceremony coming up very shortly indeed, similar to what the FIA prize giving, of course. Montana leads the way, 2.3 seconds. Cantera right on the back though of Neo. Neo taking a much deeper line. Cantera now opening up that ERS and the DRS. Not again close enough, but the Spaniard is right on the back of Neo. And of course the medium compound of tyres, he is a lot closer this time. Go for the move, man, go for the move. He doesn't want to go for it, he's just aiming at the slipstream. Cantera, he feels like he has probably done enough for third position. I would honestly try and go for the win at this point. If I was Cantera, I'd be going for the win at this point as they fly up now towards turn 6 and 7 once again. Cantera right on the back of Neo, just giving him something to think about. But if Cantera has got the tyres within him, and if he's got the pace, which definitely looks like he has, and the ERS being saved up judges that as well, he's honestly got to make a move now, I think. If he wants to let this race go from him, he stays in behind Neil for the next few laps, until probably the last 2 laps of the race. but Cantera has got to make that. YHYY, new fastest lap of the race, 109.6 for the Finn, down there in 12th position, but will be gaining that extra point, of course, if it stays same. Montana onto lap 33 leads the way. It's 2.6 seconds. We are now getting into the nitty-gritty, the final few laps of Season 2 here in League of Europe, and Cantera right on the back of Neo. Is this the time to go for the move, I wonder? The Spaniard getting close. The inside line is there to be had, but again, not going for the move. Cantera has got to lunge it somewhere. He's got to exploit that weakness. He has got to make sure that he can find a way past Neo. Otherwise, he'll be on for second place. Maybe he doesn't know that he hasn't got any penalties. It is even Stevens currently between the top three, currently out on track. 2.7 seconds separating at 33 out of 36. And Cantera, I honestly believe he should be going for the move now out on track to get second, to essentially hold up again Neo a little bit and give Spine a bit of a look in, possibly for a third position. That's what I would be doing. He's not going to get it with ERS 2, exactly. ERS mode 3 is a little bit more promising, but the straights are not long enough here at Brazil to actually get the move done. Final 3 laps, Cantera has got to get this move done. 86% of ERS just wasting, just essentially being wasted currently out on track. And Cantera now, he's up to ERS mode 3, and again, it's not going to be good enough. He downs the ERS even before the braking zone. Is he going to try and go for last lap dash and try and get the move and provide us with a last lap thriller? It's weird how this is going about. Spine is beginning to close in as well. The Swiss man has done a good job. He's just kept it about himself in his own little world there in 4th position. He's been off the pace a little bit throughout tonight, but he is beginning to come into this now. And if this move is not made, if Neo begins to hold up Cantera, Spine has got a bit of a look in here for 3rd position. Even though he's got penalties, he might just nick a 3rd position on the podium. We'll have a look. Cantera is 4/10 off him this time. Is he close enough? That looks a bit more promising. He's into ERS mode 5. Final 2 laps about to begin. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride, because here comes Cantera. Is he finally going to go for it on Neo? Again, he's not going for it. Goodness me. Sorry, just flicking one button there. Cantera's got to go for the move. He's got to make it stick now. It's much closer this time. The Spaniard's going to waltz past. He's now in overtake mode on the outside line. Neo defending the inside line. We have a shocking camera angle. But Cantera has finally made the move stick. Pinpoint accurate in the end from Cantera, and has picked the right spot to go for the move. And now he's up to P2. Good move there by the Spaniard. Waited to the right moment. Saw a gap. Went for it. Fantastic. Got the move done even before the braking zone. And Cantera, patience is the virtue, as they say, is up to 2nd. Final lap of a lap and a half now. Montana leads the way, 3.2 seconds. It's been a dominant display by our Division 1 champion here this season. And of course, Montana is going to go on a seven race winning streak to end off the season. If he can get the fastest lap, there's a challenge for him, but I don't think he will, because YHYY has got the fastest lap of the race. We're on to the final lap here of Season 2 in Division 1 in Brazil, and Montana holding firm out in front, 2.9 seconds. He can probably run around in ERS mode 0, run around at half speed and still pick up the win at this stage. Cantera in second, but look at Neo. Those mediums beginning to go, and Spine is right on the back now of Neo. Maybe he's just overshot the bullet a little bit, the German, because the Swiss man is now right on the back of him, coming through 6 and 7. Up the top of the hill, highest point on the track now, up and coming. Spine is on the back of Neo. No real overtaking opportunities. He runs wide of the curb, and that is pretty much that. That has sealed his fate there, really. Well, Luigi trying to get on the back of Doom as well, both of the mediums. But we'll flick on board with the leader currently, because Montana is through the final technical corner out on track, through turn 13, and now through 14 and 15, and the Swiss man is going to take it here in Brazil. Our Division 1 champion for this season is about to take it here in Brazil. Montana takes it. There is yellow flags in Sector 3. It's not one of the leaders. Cantera is across the line in second. Neo in third. Spine has lost time, so that's why the yellow flags were there. He comes across the line in fourth. Doesn't get jumped, by Doom. And while Ouija misses out, Neil takes second position then. Out on track in the championship battle. Neil takes that second place. Doom across the line and checked the result of penalties. Larkin kept him about himself in seventh. X-Jarry still closing down on Rick towards the end of the race. Good racing from them all. Rick across the line in 8th position. Of course, we will have a look at that lap 1 incident. I'm sure we'll get investigated. X-Jarry across the line in 9th. Verstappen, well, it could have been way different for the likes of Verstappen, Game Boys and YHYY if they didn't make contact. Verstappen across the line in 10th. Game Boys across the line in 11th. Good job by Verstappen and a good move earlier on in the race. Do watch that back later on. YHYY across the line in 12th. And that is it for Division 1 this season here in Brazil at the Autodromo Juan Carlos Pache. And Montana takes a 7-race winning streak to end off the season. He is our Division 1 champion, and Montana is the one that takes it out on track. A dominant display of driving once again. And honestly, will anyone stop him in Season 3? I hope somebody out there in the comment section will. It'll just be a hell of a lot more fun if we do have people around the same pace as him. Honestly, it will be such a sight and such a great flag bearer for the league moving forward in Division 1. Of course, commiserations to the other two guys, Cantera and Neo onto the podium as well. And it is Montana who takes it here in Brazil. 3.3 seconds in the end from Cantera. Neo in third. Cantera pinpointing and accurate with his move. Later on in the race, do apologise. Spine across the line in fourth. Luigi from 8th up to 5th. Good job. Not enough though to get that second place out in the championship. Neil takes second from him very late on in the final race of the season. Doom across the line in 6th. Of course, that penalty's added on. It's showing up as 23 seconds on my screen. That's quite strange. Larkin across the line in 7th. Rick, X-Jarry, Verstappen, Game Boys, YHY all filling out the points. Killer Blue AI finished 13th. Cookie Games and Schiaparelli, a disastrous day for the Red Bulls. They were out of the race early on. Of course, if you do want to get involved with more League of Europe action here tonight, Division 2 is now live. I will give you a quick live update actually on how Division 2 is panning out. 15 drivers, very similar to what we saw here tonight. And currently nobody has set a lap, so go and tune into that. Division 2 is on there live right now. 15 drivers. It is wet as well, so go and tune in for that. I'll tune into the comment section for the final time this season, League of Europe. Let's have a look at this. As Discord is down, I'll give it here. Just messed up myself. Disappointed, says Verstappen, so that might explain the early contact that some of the guys had. Seasalt saying Montana is winning. What a shock. I know. I wish we could get drivers of the same pace around him. It'll just be a hell of a lot more fun, I think. And I'm sure you guys as the viewers do want to see that moving forward. Thanks for the awesome commentary all season long, James. I think I missed 1 week out of 18, which is not too bad. Not too bad at all. Everyone deserves a week off sometimes. But yeah, just to confirm until there are any rumours to rest, you might have seen it in the Division 1 chat. I will be back next season to commentate you through League of Europe Division 1 once again. The flag bearer of League of Europe going forward will be in the safe hands of a Northeast man. Let's just say that. I will be back though next season, and you will be seeing me around on the League of Europe channel more in the future as well. GT Sport on Wednesday, come and tune in for that because I'll be there as well. And the new season will begin in January for Formula 1. I might try and make an appearance somewhere in the future. GG to all the guys that raced this season. It was really fun and enjoyable. Great commentary, mate. Glad you're hanging around. I honestly wouldn't change it for the world. This league, honestly, fantastic organisation, fantastic professionalism from all 3 divisions. a great set of guys in the league, and I cannot wait to be commentating on you guys and possibly even working with you guys moving forward as well in League of Europe. I will be having a bit more of a prominent role just behind the scenes, maybe just giving a bit of feedback to the organisers as a result of that. So you'll be seeing a lot of me, that's all I'm going to say. But until Wednesday, GT Sport for League of Europe, I'm going to tune out now. You might be seeing me during the week on the podcast as well. Thank you very much for watching. Go and tune into Division 2. Thank you very much for watching, though, and until next season for League of Europe F1 2019, goodbye.